Okay, so I want to talk about how to help sales teams push through gatekeeping. So we are in conversation with a number of companies in the healthcare space, and these same problems come up over and over and over again. And they are usually that the person who is problem aware, so let's say somebody is in charge of cleaning surgical instruments, for example. So they're aware these problems exist, but the decision maker is VP or C-suite, and they just cannot get through. So what the context is, there's a knowledge gap. So the person who has the money doesn't understand the problem. The person who understands the problem doesn't have the money. There's a translation problem, so you have to reframe the entire story from collateral pieces to executives because gatekeepers can't effectively articulate the value upward. There's a repetition issue. So each new stakeholder encounter requires starting from zero. Nobody knows who the hell you are, what you're talking about, what problems were articulated, misaligned incentives. So gatekeepers just don't want to get fired. Like, they just present narrow developmental problems rather than business initiatives executives would care about. Like, the gatekeepers are not getting, surgical techs are not revenue sharing with the hospital. So there's limited authority, messaging mismatch. This just janks up the sales cycle. This is why sometimes closing a hospital can feel like it's like working in Brazil or something. There's so much inefficiencies. And implementation focus and strategy, like it's always tactical versus strategic. It's always what's going on the ground, and then value recognition. So the way I approach this problem and the way we teach our clients to approach it is you want to target a combination of gatekeepers and decision makers and champions, and then you want to create an incentive structure, a language that's relevant to all three, and also materials that can be run up the chain of command. So what a lot of companies are missing their approach is both volume and specificity. So you want to make the pollen sweet enough that the bee will carry it back to the hive. So basically, you want to create enough incentives. You want to create messaging that can be Trojan horsed up the chain of command and really explains what you do. And you want to make the sales material good enough, and you want to target enough people. So it's really a question of both volume and specificity and multiple channels. So if you're it's a large client, if you close hospital, it's a big deal. So usually the answer is a lot more volume and a lot more precision, and that is basically our job. So there's a lot of tools where you can have a fleet of SDRs for a fraction of the cost, and you can automate so much of this. You can have, like, for ourselves, we're doing between 100 and 150 leads a month, 1,000 calls a day plus, 1,000 emails a day, these videos, mailing list, like, it never ends. And we close 5 to 15% of those leads. And that's why people want to work with us. They're like, okay, we want to copy you. So this is what we teach people to do. I also do, so if you need help with cold email, LinkedIn, cold calling, really customer acquisition, and also sales coaching, we just helped a company get a pretty multi-eight-figure valuation that I'll talk about later when I'm allowed to talk about it. But any questions, just let me know. You can DM me or reach out, but have a great day, and I will talk to you on Sunday.